Hi everyone, this is Samantha and I'm with Corcoran Global Living. Today we have a guest speaker, Jason, with Ramey's Inspection Services. As a buyer or a seller, you need to look out for a home inspection when purchasing or selling a home. Jason, can you tell us what is the top 3 most important things when consumers look at an inspection report?
So I would say the 3 biggest things, great question, is going to be our plumbing, our foundation, and our electrical. Most things when buyers come in, they can look around, they can see, we like to call it the lipstick on the house. But the 3 main things they can't see, the plumbing, the electrical, and the foundation.
Wow, that's really interesting. Can you please show us?
I would love to.
Great, let's go. So thank you for helping us inspect today. What's going on with the stove here?
We're checking to make sure all the burners work properly. Okay. And one of them is just being a little finicky, so I want to make sure that it's in perfect shape. That way when the buyers come through, they know they're getting a really good stove in good condition, along with the rest of the house. So in this kind of a garage, it's almost a basement garage because it's a lower level of the house. There's no crawl space underneath here. So what we love about these type of homes is we can see all the rafters, the cross bracing, some of the electrical coming through, and even sometimes plumbing, what I don't see here. But we can check all the rafters, the subfloor above, make sure everything is straight, square, and plumb. Down here, everything looks really good so far. We'll continue going through and taking pictures, making sure nothing is amiss.
How about the foundation?
So the foundation for this, we can check the slab of the garage. We can look at the perimeter and see if we have any water staining, water marks, cracks, and breaks. What we're gonna do is we're gonna crawl under here in a minute.
Okay.
And take a look at the subflooring of the main house. Because this one we can see small cracks that come through, but those aren't real big telltale signs of what might be adjusting or moving the structure. So what we're looking at in the crawl space under the main house is the gas main that comes in, as well as some of the plumbing for the waste lines that's going out. So under here, the underside of the house hides all of our water supplies, our waste lines, our power sometimes, and all of our gas lines. That way we don't see them inside the main house. So our job is to make sure that everything is lined up properly. We have no blockages, no gas leaks, no power lines that are exposed or have possible copper exposed where somebody can get electrocuted. And definitely we want to check the waste lines to make sure we have no wastewater that might be leaking out into the house causing water damage. And everything down here looks really good.
So Jason, what are we looking for when we're looking for electrical things in the property?
So this is called our sub panel. Our main panel is just on the opposite side of this wall. We can see it coming down through here. Some of the big things we're looking for is make sure all the wiring is done properly. We want to make sure we have the right gauge size. So each breaker has a different size. We can see our 50s, 20s, 30s. We want to make sure we have the corresponding wire size that goes to the proper breaker. Some other things that I just noticed is we don't want to have what we call double tapping. So this one has 2 wires that goes to the same breaker. So we have 2 circuits inside the house that are trying to share the same load. So we'll write this up as a defection, see if we can have it repaired. Other things we're looking for, make sure the terminals are properly grounded and bonded, making sure we have single wires per lug. We also never want to stick our finger in there. So usually I'm using a plastic tip to stick inside here to move the wires around to make sure everything is bonded properly, everything is grounded. And then another thing we look for is if we have aluminum wires, such as these on this side, we want to make sure that they have what's called a flux to make sure that the aluminum bonds properly. Older homes like this typically had aluminum wires because during the wars we didn't have copper wire in excess like we do today. So aluminum was used, so we look for those to make sure they were installed properly.
So we followed Jason here and we're looking at some of the plumbing and major utilities and appliances. So Jason, what are we looking at or what are we looking for here?
So we have a couple big things down here. We have the classic water heater. We have our furnace, which heats up all the air, and then washer, dryer, and utilities. Some of the big things that we're looking for is usually water leaks. So on the cold and hot water supply, we're making sure we have no water leaks coming from the water heater. We're also making sure our temperature is set to a proper level. A lot of people don't know, but you can adjust the temperature of the water heater and it can get incredibly hot to where it can actually damage some of the skin. So we're making sure that this is set to a reasonable level and that the water heater is in good shape. Moving down one, we have a very nice heater here. What we're checking for is, again, making sure we have no water leaks because sometimes we can have water that will come from the ceiling, penetrate the roof, come back through the heating duct, and we'd actually have water around here. Make sure everything's sealed properly. We'd love to see tape in the insulation around the ducting so that all of our heated air does get into the house and doesn't cool down along the way. And the last big item right behind us, which is great with this style of house, is we can see all of the waistline plumbing that comes down from all the bathtubs, the toilets, the sinks, the kitchen, and make sure we have no leaks coming through. We've got no rusting, we have no damaged pipes. That way everything that goes down the sink is going to actually get through the drains and out to the city sewer main.
Wow, that was a lot of very useful information. We hope you find that useful as well.
And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to either one of us. We're always here to help.
Thank you so much. Bye.